Beautiful thing for a Friday night. We'll start with the Raptors Magic series as it shifts to Orlando tonight. Top of the hour on ESPN. 3 nights after Toronto blistered the Magic behind Kawhi Leonard's 37 points that tied the series at 1. Kyle Lowry had 22 in the win after going scoreless in Game 1. But of note, the Magic are 9-1 at home since the All-Star break. Celtics Pacers heads to Indy tonight. It's on ABC as the Pacers look for their first win of the series. This after allowing Boston to overcome double-digit deficits in both wins. Kyrie Irving had 37 points in Game 2. Jason Tatum had 26, and Boston overcame a 12-point fourth-quarter deficit, outscoring Indiana 31-12 in that final quarter. And Oklahoma City down 2-0, basically facing a must-win against Portland. Russell Westbrook averaging just 19 points on 35% shooting in the first 2 games. But Damian Lillard, he's poured in 29.5 points per game. Oklahoma City just 10 of 61 from 3, 16%. Russ Westbrook struggling, spoke today.
Well at home, shooting against the Blazers. How do you, I mean, that's kind of got to help this home court advantage, right, with your shooting modes, you feel like?
Was that question, comment?
It was both. How do you feel, I guess, with the home court advantage? How much will it help?
We'll see.
Russ, you talked about wanting to be better in this Game 3. What are the areas that you want to personally do a lot better in this game?
This win.
And Stan Van Gundy joins us now. Stan, the Thunder, they just need to make shots, right? But we know that's easier said than done sometimes. And you coaches can only do so much. That said, what would you like Billy Donovan to change or to try to get more out of his team, especially Russell Westbrook?
Well, I don't think he can do anything change-wise or that he needs to. I think they've got to, their game is based on their defense. They've got to go in there and try to be better defensively, and then getting those stops allow them to get out in transition where Russell Westbrook is virtually unstoppable. That will help him the most. And then in the half court, they're going to have to run things through Paul George and probably involve Steven Adams a little bit more.
We saw his former teammate Kevin Durant step up in Game 3 last night. Let's see if Russell Westbrook can do the same. That game tips at 9:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. Game 3 of the Celtics Pacers, 8:30 ABC. And Boston, Stan, I mean, they could easily be down 0-2 if not for their big late game comebacks. Kyrie Irving leading the way with the 37 points in Game 2. I mean, he talked a lot at the end of the regular season. Talked, right? Controversially. He seems different so far this postseason. What have you seen different in him?
Well, very focused, very engaged, even playing harder and more focused on the defensive end. But what he gives them is the closer, and that's what we've seen in these 2 games. And defenses are very well prepared in the playoffs. It's hard to get things out of your offense. You need individual players that can go and make plays. The Pacers don't have Victor Oladipo. The Celtics do have Kyrie Irving. That's been the difference so far.
How different do you think it would be if they had had Vic?
Oh, it'd be a lot different because then they'd have a guy that could go back at them at the other end when things break down. Bogdanovich has done a good job, but he's not Victor Oladipo.
Exactly. Well, the Celtics, they're pretty good when they're up 2-0. They've won 46 of the 48 series in which they've had a 2-0 lead. Game 3 tonight on ABC. Stan, thank you.
Thank you.
Sage, the Lakers continuing their coaching search with a familiar name for the organization as well as for LeBron. Ty Lue scheduled to meet with GM Rob Pelinka today. They already met with Sixers assistant Monty Williams, and the Lakers are scheduled to meet with Miami assistant Juwan Howard. Lue reached the NBA Finals 3 times, coaching LeBron and the Cavs, winning 1 championship in 2016. He has the 3rd best playoff win percentage in NBA history among coaches that were involved in at least 50 postseason games. And keep this in mind, should LeBron and Lue team up once again, the only players that won a title with the same coach on 2 different teams, Horace Grant, Ron Harper, John Sally, doing so with Phil Jackson as members of the Bulls and then later with the Lakers. Adrian Wojnarowski joining us. He's been reporting on this story. So how much is Ty Lue's history with LeBron James factoring in this?
Listen, it's certainly important, but I think one of the messages Ty Lue wants to get through to Rob Pelinka today is that I'm not here to be LeBron James' coach. I'm here to coach the Lakers, and that I'm going to coach the whole group. And I think one of the misnomers of Ty Lue's time in Cleveland was listen, he challenged LeBron James. He was hard on LeBron James at times. He's not there to just be his caddy, and I do think that commanded LeBron's respect, and I think that will be a big part of the conversation they have today.
I mentioned Pelinka meeting with these coaching candidates, and with Magic gone, how much power does he have in the organization in this coaching search under Jeannie Buss?
He's been empowered to run this search. Now, these are certainly names he's discussing with Jeannie Buss and upper management, but Rob Pelinka has the ability to go out and interview the candidates he wants to. He met with Monty Williams earlier this week in Philadelphia, and I'm told that there's an expectation on both sides that Monty Williams and Pelinka and the Lakers will talk again here in this process.
All right, we'll see how that plays out. Of course, the Sixers still in that series, that first-round series with the Nets. Woj, thank you so much. Joel Embiid will not play Game 3 against the Nets.
Simmons, nasty. Butler, magnificent. Harris again from deep. The 76ers take a 2-1 series lead.
Wonder if there are any Ben Simmons posters in Brooklyn still hanging around. The 22-year-old Sixers guard coming off the best playoff game of his career, dropping 31 points, 9 dimes in a Game 3 win over the Nets. The Sixers taking a 2-1 series lead without Joel Embiid, resting that sore left knee. And this morning at practice, in slippers, taking jump shots. Brett Brown, your thoughts?
As it relates to tomorrow, why I don't know, and I really don't have a gut feel. To me, it's always best to plan that you don't have him and be really surprised and happy when you do.
Embiid is listed as doubtful for Game 4. Former NBA coach P.J. Carlesimo joining us now. And P.J., the Sixers, they won by 16 last night without Embiid, as Simmons, Harris, Redick, and Butler all played well. When should Philly start to consider this idea, sitting Embiid for the rest of the series?
Not ever, Kevin. That would be the dumbest thing they could possibly do. They got to win games. I think they would have played Joel the other day. He warmed up before the game. He didn't feel good. They can't overthink this. If he's healthy, they got to play him, especially at 2-1. That game, to me, that was the proof the other night. To play him in that game, as meaningful as that was, that meant he wasn't able to play. And I think that'll be the deciding factor going forward. I don't think they'll try and overthink it at all.
All right, moving to our first game here. You're on the call. The Magic hosting the Raptors in Game 3. Toronto evened the series. Kawhi Leonard, 37 points in that Game 2. What can Orlando do tonight to just try and slow him down?
Well, they got to get help, just as Sage needs a lot of help working with you. Aaron Gordon needs a lot of help if he's going to play Kawhi, and he just has it going. He's more aggressive, I think, than he's been at almost any time in the regular season, and he's so versatile. He can shoot three-point shots. He can be strong. He can beat you on the dribble. He splits traps. He goes in and dunks. He made fadeaways the other night, Kevin. He's shooting like 25 for 40. He's making more than half of his threes. They need help. Aaron's got to do a better job staying connected, but he needs help, and I think he'll get it tonight from Steve Clifford's team.
Give my best to Adam Amin tonight, carrying you on the call. Leonard's average of 31 points per game leads the postseason. We love you, PJ.
All right, Kev, you too.
And here's where things stand as we head into,
right?
Oh, absolutely. As we take a look at the entertaining weekend of playoff basketball, the only lower seed that currently leads the series right now is San Antonio. The 7th-seeded Spurs hold a 2-1 edge on the 2nd-seeded Nuggets, with a pivotal Game 4 looming tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern.
Lillard, bang, from way downtown. Portland takes Game 1. Westbrook on the ground. He is 3 for 15. Lillard with a 30-foot. They got a 2-0 feeling.
I got to play better. And tonight, the loss, I'm going to take full responsibility of.
Well, Westbrook and the Thunder have some work to do tonight. Down 0-2 to Portland, and the highly anticipated Westbrook-Lillard matchup has been lopsided in favor of Dame. Lillard has been excellent. Here's proof. In addition to averaging a series-leading 29.5 points per game, he's guarded Westbrook on 97 possessions in the first 2 games, 81 more times than the next closest trailblazer, that according to Second Spectrum. Westbrook just has not looked himself, averaging 19 points on 35% shooting through 2. The blueprint, forcing him away from the basket. He's just 2 of 17 from the field on shots outside 10 feet, including 1 for 10 from three-point range. Those numbers, Jalen Rose, are ugly if you are an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, and the effect that Damian Lillard is having on the series, unmistakable. Again, Portland shooting 13% higher when he's on the floor, and their three-point shooting is 24% higher. So if you're the Thunder, what are you doing tonight to try to slow Damian Lillard down?
If you're Russell Westbrook, you got to be aggressive. And I mean by attacking the basket for drives to score, for post-up opportunities, to try to put Dame in foul trouble. You got to slow this guy down some. Say, soon as game one started, he took 3 dribbles and pulled up a 35 feet and made a 3. That was a haymaker. That sent a message. Russ got to get back to the block and hope to rock the baby and slow Dame Lillard down because he's been terrific so far in this series.
And he has been waiting for moments like this, right? You got to go back to last night because the Warriors took that 2-1 series lead on the Clippers. And guess who led the way? There was no talk after about Patrick Beverley pestering KD last night. Former MVP had 38 points in that blowout win. So, Jalen, now what? Now how do you view the Warriors?
I always felt like the Warriors would be tested by the Houston Rockets next series regardless. That's going to be a long dogfight, the James Harden, and they're just saving Chris Paul and getting ready for it. But the Golden State Warriors just have another gear. The Clippers did a terrific job of coming back from 30 and making it be known that they deserve to be in the playoffs. However, the Golden State Warriors are looking at the Rockets being up 2-0 against the Jazz, and they know they can't play any extra games. This is a 5-game series.
Okay, Jalen with a prediction now, and maybe, to your point, Kevin Durant has finally turned the page, and now the sky is the limit. Jalen Rose getting you set tonight as well, because we got lots of stuff coming your way. 3 games, a trio of Game 3s. Raptors, Magic at 7 on ESPN. Celtics, Pacers at 8:30 on ABC. And then Portland, Oklahoma City, that's 9:30 back here on ESPN. All 3 games streaming live on the app. You can watch them anywhere.
We can do it. There we go.
What if I told you that the most impactful player in the postseason
was Dixie?
Okay, well, or Derek White. Spurs trying to get one up, but yeah, there it is. Listen, the kid's been fantastic. This is just his 3rd career playoff start. The man was on fire yesterday. He just kept driving. So much intensity. He was on the attack the whole night. You see him there, baseline, lays it in. Less than 20 seconds to go in the half. White with the steal. And then just like, who hurt you?
Dixie.
White's 26 first-half points, the most by a Spurs player in any half of a playoff game since Tony Parker in 2009. You don't say. Spurs up 3 at the half. 4th quarter, he could give 2. Marco Bellinelli drains 3. Next possession, White was fantastic in the paint. More on that in a minute. And 1. Almost loses control, but doesn't. You remember Jamal Murray had all these 4th quarter heroics in Game 2. Big reason why the Nuggets came back. Apparently that triggered Derek White. He was like, it's me. Well, he checked there. White with a career-high 36 points. He is the first Spur to score at least 35 points before the age of 25 since Tim Duncan. I wonder how Dixie would feel about that.
She loves it. Loves it.
He's a fan. So is Pop.
Coach, what was your impression of Derek tonight?
He's okay. He's okay. I have to answer that question. You were at the game, right? He was obviously spectacular. I don't know what else to say.
There's no doubt in my mind that Derek White, the last couple of days, has been reminded about Jamal Murray's 4th quarter performance. Derek White came out like he hadn't eaten in 2 days. He came out hungry. He came out pissed off, and he sent a very loud and clear message. Now, I'm anxious to see our guys, how do we respond to that? Where is your pride? You know, where's your toughness? Where's your grit? So Game 4 is going to be really like a great insight into who we are as a team, especially our young players, especially Jamal Murray. Great 4th quarter. We win the game in Game 2. Well, he's going to learn as a young kid, it can't be just 1 quarter. It's got to be every night if you want to be a really good basketball player, especially in the playoffs. And that's going to be part of his development and a part of his maturation, and I have to help him with that.
Well, maybe he'll be triggered by Derek White, who I mentioned was great in the paint, 12 for 14. In the last 20 postseasons, only Kobe Bryant, D. Wade, and Kyrie Irving scored more points in the paint over a single game. White, as I also mentioned, finished with 36 points, his most during his young NBA career.
Let's talk more playoffs now. NBA senior insider Adrian Wojnarowski joining us this morning. The story last night when it was released, Joel Embiid would not play. He did not, so curious what his status is now going forward.
This is really going to be game to game with this left knee tendonitis and what his threshold for the pain is going to be in these playoffs. They're going to have a hard time, Philadelphia, getting where they want to go with Joel Embiid missing games in the postseason. They may be able to get out of this Brooklyn series, but the idea of beating Toronto with Joel Embiid not playing 6 or 7 games, that's going to be a tall order for Philly. And this problem isn't going away in the postseason. Only rest recovery is going to help him. He can't get that till the offseason.
Even with Ben Simmons playing lights out, and he certainly was last night. Let's talk about a team that is not in the postseason, but it's the Lakers. So it's always a good time to talk about them. About a week since they let Luke Walton go. Where are we at with the job search there?
I'm told Ty Lue will meet with Lakers GM Rob Pelinka today. That's their first sit down in this process. And the other top candidate in this, Monty Williams, a Philadelphia assistant coach, he met with Pelinka Tuesday in Philly, and I'm told that there's an expectation on both sides that they're going to talk again here.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the most high-profile jobs in the NBA, if not the most, because of the player attached and the market attached. It'll be interesting to see if LeBron gets one of his former guys in there. You'll be all over it. We know Adrian Wojnarowski with us this morning. Sir, thank you.